Okay, find yourself a comfortable seat. You can close your eyes or you can take your gaze down. If you are keeping your eyes open, then maybe try to just keep your gaze focused on a single point. And as you start to turn your awareness and your attention towards yourself, towards your body in this moment, just notice for yourself what is there for you in this moment. So you might notice straight away sensation, or maybe you're more attuned to your breath this evening. So feeling free to just notice what's present for you and use that to bring yourself more deeply into this moment and in connection with your body. If that requires a little bit of movement, feel free to do some movement. Wherever your focus is, just guide it now to your breath. And just begin to gently deepen your breathing. And just as we're seated here, we'll bring a little bit more of our intention to moving the breath out in all directions. So a lot of time when we're breathing, the focus is through the front of the body. I just invite you to be aware of the movement through the back of your body and the sides of your body. So feel free to take that one angle at a time, focusing first on the sides and then the back. And as you move your awareness to these parts, you might notice there's that intention to move the breath into these parts as well. And if this is something new to you, know that it's okay to feel a little bit awkward or unsure. But if you are feeling that way, try not to force anything. Bringing a little bit of acceptance into the current experience. This is the way that my breath moves. I'm just becoming aware of any kind of movement or sensation of my breath through the back of my body, the sides of my body. And with that, rather than a lifting and lowering or rising and falling of the breath, you might tune into a more expansion on the inhale and contraction towards center on the exhale. So the breath moving out and back in. And then relaxing the breath now completely, letting it move freely. And to come back into the room and into some movement, we'll do a couple rounds of palming. Hold the palms of the hands together until you feel heat building between the hands. And then placing those nice warm palms over the eyes, really gentle with the pressure. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. And feel free to repeat that a couple more times. And then last time, just blinking the eyes open behind the palms and just releasing down. Okay, let's move a little bit. We'll start on hands and knees. A little bit to warm up through the wrists, and we'll go through our child's pose rotation. So knees wide, sitting down to the heels, walking the fingers forward, Just before we start to move through the torso, we'll just come up onto the fingertips and draw the wrists forward toward the top of the mat, simultaneously pressing back and down through the buttocks, toward the heels, toward the floor, and then relaxing. And then again, coming up onto the fingertips, drawing the wrists forward, feeling the pull of the shoulders forward. And then releasing it down. And again, one more time, lifting up, reaching forward. And then relaxing down. Pause here for as long as you like before coming into your rotation, starting right to left, using the inhale to rise up, the exhale to move left and down. So keeping the awareness mostly through the wrists, although peripheral awareness of sensations totally fine, it's always going to happen. All of this is on the rotation of the wrists. And reversing and going back in the opposite direction. Couple more, left to right. Then we'll sit up onto the heels in a kneeling position. We'll take the knees out wide, bring the fingertips to the floor, turn the palms of the hands forward, then lean forward with the torso until the palms of the hands are flat or close to. Feel free to prop up the pads or the heels of your palms if they don't quite comfortably meet the floor. Once your hands are as flat as you can get them, just wait to move back to the heels. Start to roll your shoulders back, gently pulling your chest through. Take your hands wider if you need to. Then just taking the gaze straight forward or closing the eyes, just setting the position of the head. So kind of horizon level. Taking a few breaths. A gentle stretch through the wrists, through the forearms. Relaxing the hands, bring them out in front, still a few rotations of the wrists in each direction. Okay, coming back into the wide knee position with the hands on the floor again, fingertips facing in and fingertips spreading here as well. So we're going to start with, we're going to do 10 rounds of lion's breath. So yay, we're all in our own space at home. You don't have to worry about feeling silly in front of other people, although if you're sharing your home with someone else, this might sound a bit strange from another room. So for lion's breath, we bring a little bit of a lift of the chest as we take the chin and lift it up. The gaze comes to the space between the eyebrows, Bermudia. And on the exhalation, tongue sticks out. You're really sticking out as far as you can. And we press the breath out. So just go through 10 at your own pace. Breathing in, lifting the chin, so get a stretch through the throat as you lift up. Feel free to get a bit more vocal. One more. Release the hands, pull the knees in together. You turn the palms of the hands up if you like. Draw the shoulders back and down. Just take a moment to tune in, to notice. Coming to a standing position, top of the mat, facing forward. Hands down beside you, taking a moment to find a nice, tall, steady standing position. A little tuck of the tailbone under and gently drawing the lower abdomen in. Nothing too intense or extreme, just a really soft engaging or lifting through the lower belly. Lifting tall through the top of the head. We'll start with a side stretch each side and come into Surya Namaskar A, our sun salutation A. So breathing in, taking the arms up overhead. You can keep your hands touching as you lean to the right, or you can release your right hand down to the right thigh or to the hip. Take a couple of breaths here. Use your next inhale to lift yourself up. And then exhale, lean to the left, option to lower the hand or keep it raised up with the right. Reach through your fingertips and breathe into the right side. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, bring the palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Take a moment here to set an intention for your practice if you'd like. Or maybe just an affirmation that you're working with or an intention that you're working with in general. So maybe off the yoga mat, you have an intention that you'd like to bring into your day-to-day life. And breathing in, extending arms up, lifting, lengthening, and exhaling, folding forward. Forehead toward the shins or the knees. And then breathing in, extending the forehead to the front. Using your exhale, step the feet back or lower down to the floor. Take a few warm-ups through this first cobra. So breathing in, little baby cobra lift, activate through the back body. And then exhale, bring the forehead down toward the floor. A couple more through those. You can get progressively higher, breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, lowering down. So try to keep the activation coming through the back of the body to lift up. Towards the end, you can press into the hands a little bit. And now through a twisting cobra, so to the right, breathing in, breathing out, lowering down, and to the left, breathing in, breathing out, and down. Cobra through center, inhale. Come to the knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Holding here for 5 breaths. Chin toward the chest. You can hold still when you're down dog, or you can use this first downward facing dog to explore a little bit of movement. Last inhale. And towards the end of this exhale, step towards the top of the mat and straight into your halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, hold the backs of the legs, soft bend of the knees, bring the nose toward the knees. Then through flat back, come all the way up to standing, breathing in, breathing out. Palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Connecting with the breath. So we'll do that again with the side bending. We'll just do breath by breath for that. So breathing in, extending arms up, and leaning to the right as you exhale. Gentle side bend. Coming to the center, inhale, exhaling to the left. Inhale to center, and exhale to fold. Halfway lift, inhale, extend forward, exhale, lower down. Twisting cobra, right, inhale. Exhaling down to the left, inhale. Exhaling down. Inhale to center. Exhale back. And while you hold this time, option to come into a scorpion dog by lifting right knee toward the ceiling, dropping the heel toward the buttocks, taking a couple of breaths there. Really drive down through the hands if you're taking this option. And then changing sides, left leg lifts. Otherwise, feel free to just hold your downward facing dog nice and still. Both feet to the floor. Exhaling to step forward. Inhaling to halfway lift.
And folding in, exhale. Breathe in and stand, reach tall. Breathe out, release. Breaths here, Sanjay. Again through, side bending, inhale, extend up, exhale to the right, inhale to the center, exhale to the left, inhale center, exhale fold. As much extension through your spine as you breathe in and lift, draw shoulders back and exhale, move down to the floor. So to make this a little bit stronger, you can really control that descent to the floor. To the right, breathing in, twisting cobra, breathing out to lower down. Left, inhale, twist. Exhaling down. Through center, deep breath in, pull the chest forward and shoulders back. Exhale, down dog. This time, lifting the right leg up, option to scorpion dog briefly. And as you exhale, take your right knee across to the left. Take the outside of your right foot to the floor and drop your left heel to the floor. Taking all of your weight now onto that right wrist. Take an inhale, lift up through your left fingers and lift your left hip up here as well. You might even extend the hand over the head. One more breath. Exhale, take that hand down. Breathing in, swing your right leg back up. And breathing out, releasing down. To the left, inhale, left leg lifts, option to drop that heel briefly into the hip and then across left foot coming off the mat on the right side. Weight into the left hand as you breathe in and reach your right fingers up. Extend over the head if you'd like. One more inhale. Release down to the floor, swing that left leg back up and exhale to the floor. Take one more breath in here. And step forward. Halfway lift, breathing in. Exhale, fold into standing. Breath. And exhale. Give an extra few breaths here as we start to build the heat and build the strain, stress on the body. We can find and keep our sense of balance by, after each time we exert energy, each time we stress the body, we come back to these moments of stillness, keeping that balance between yin and yang. Again, breathing in now, arms up, exhaling, leaning right, breathing in center, exhale, leaning left. Center, breathe in, exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathing in, down to the floor, breathing out. Option to drop to the knees as well if you need something a little gentler. Twist to the right, breathe in, breathing out, come down to the floor, twist to the left, breathing in, breathing out, coming down, lifting the chest now, and downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, option to drop the heel. Exhale, take it across to the left, drop that left heel down, breathe in, lift the hips up. Coming back, left hand down to the floor. Another option here is you lift that right leg up. You can take the heel back down to the left buttock or the right toes to the floor. Inhale, lift the right fingers up. Then exhale that hand down, coming back into your downward facing dog and the left side. This is our last time through. So left leg lifts and exhale, sweep it across to the right. Inhale, take the right hand up. Exhale, right hand down to the floor, taking the left leg back up again. Dropping the heel to the right. Option to take the toes to the floor and lift the hips as you lift. Left fingers up. Hand to the floor, back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Stepping forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Deep breath in, standing tall, reaching up, little lift of the chest. Exhale. Pause and standing. Just the arms down beside you. Well, then just coming to face sideways on your mat. I'm going to take the feet just outside the hips and preparing for triangle pose each side, then we'll come into a fold. So turning your right toes forward, then angling the left toes in. Breathing in, arms to a T position and into triangle on your exhale. I'm going to hold this one for about 6 to 8 breaths. Choose your focal point and hold your gaze there. It doesn't have to be up at the fingers. It can be down on the floor if that's easy. Yeah, but try to keep your gaze set there. Counting the breaths mentally. Legs. Pressing into that front foot now. Inhale, bring yourself up. Turning right toes in, exhale, arms down to the sides. Turning left toes back, angle the right toes back here as well. Breathing in, extend the arms up. Then reach forward, come into triangle, hold here. 6 to 8 breaths. Setting your gaze, wherever that might be for you today. Inhale, bringing yourself up, release the hands down. Take your feet a little bit wider if you like, or turn both toes in. We're going to fold forward. So we're going to do a few forward fold variations, starting with hands on the hips, then hands clasped behind, and then we'll finish up with hands on the floor or outside the legs. That'll be your choice. So hands coming to the hips, inhale to lift up, soft bend in the knees, and then folding forward. So as you do that, it's a hip hinge movement, so the bum moves back just a little. But try to keep your weight even through the feet, fronts and backs. Draw your shoulders onto your back, and then start to release your head toward the floor. So the chin pulls in a little bit here, so the top of the head's reaching toward the floor. If the eyes are open, just keep that focal point, or just close the eyes, internalize. One more breaths. Breathing in, coming up to standing. Exhale here and pause. Now hands coming behind the back. Interlace your fingers. Draw your shoulders back. Squeeze your shoulders together. Starting to press the knuckles toward the floor, lifting the chest a little bit here. Breathing in and breathing out, fold. So you can keep your knuckles reaching back, or you can lift your knuckles toward the ceiling. It's just going to depend on the comfort levels through your shoulder, the flexibility through your shoulders. Drawing the palms of the hands closer together is also going to up the ante for the shoulders here. Always just listening to your body, finding your edge, and finding some ease in that space. Couple of breaths. Slowly release the hands to the lower back. You can bring them back to the hips, bend into your knees just a little bit more. Reach the top of the head toward the front now as you slowly lift up with the flat back, pressing firmly into the feet. Release the arms down. Last fold, breathing in, take the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the floor. If you want a bit more of a challenge or strengthening, keep your arms extending all the way down, up in line with the ears. And then slide your hands back, bring the fingers into the same line as your toes, bend the elbows back. You can come into a little halfway lift to get a bit more length again, then refold. Or if you prefer to, you can grab the outer edges of the feet and draw yourself in. Keep that gentle drawing back through the shoulders. Count 5 more breaths. Halfway lift, bringing the hands to the hips and inhaling all the way up to standing. We'll bring the feet together. So you can stay sideways or you can face the front of your mat, which is best for you. So we're balancing now in tree pose. There's always a moment to bring your attention to your feet first. You're going to be balancing on the left leg, so become aware of that left foot, all of the toes. Bending into your right knee, lifting up. If you'd like to first squeeze into the chest and then bring that foot to the inside of the thigh, you can. Otherwise, to the ankle or calf muscle is fine. Set yourself up, get steady, find your focal point, and bring a smile to your face if you're wobbling a little bit here. We might have got a little bit dusty in our balancing poses, and that's okay. So hips facing toward the front as that right knee opens to the left. Keep that extension through your spine, keep lifting up. Couple more breaths. I'm going to hug the knee in again. Soft bend in your left knee, then across the right leg over and bring the right toes to the floor. Try to get both feet flat. Now we're going to fold. So breathe in, extend the arms up. Breathe out, fold forward, bending into the knees. And so we're just getting a little bit more through the back of that left leg. Roll the head, the chin in. Go from here into another balancing. So come up onto your fingertips to a halfway lift. I'm going to send the right, no, that's the left foot straight back. So a supported or modified warrior 3. Fingertips on the floor. If you want to come into full warrior 3, you can lift your torso and place the hands wherever you like, really. Hands reaching back, hands reaching forward, or palms of the hands together. It just depends on what you're going for. Couple breaths. Hips even, facing the floor, and back to standing. Release the hands, get the legs a little bit of a jiggle. Other side, so squeezing the left leg in, placing it somewhere inside right leg, above or below the knee. Bringing your hands together in front of the chest. Feel free to raise the arms and your tree once you're steady, or to help with your balance, you can move them out to the sides. Big toe, little toe, and heel. Gripping the floor, pressing down. So you can get a bit more space through your torso, lifting up from the pelvis. Last breath here. Hugging your left knee back in. Soft bend in your right knee as you send the left leg across. Plant that foot flat. Breathe in, lift both the arms up. And breathe out, fold. Remember to fully release the head down. You need to move the head back and forward or side to side to stimulate that relaxed response in those muscles. You can do that. Halfway lift now up onto the fingertips, sending right foot back. Option to stay here on the fingertips or to lift up, warrior three. Long breaths. Calm mind, regardless of where the body's moving. And standing. Just a quick time check. Right on target. Okay. So coming down onto your front. Preparing for bow pose. So bow pose, we reach back, grab the feet, and lift the thighs and the chest up off the floor. We'll do a few belly down back bends without the bind of the hands and feet first. So lifting the chest up, reaching the fingers back, keeping the gaze straight down, holding here, feeling that activation through the back body. Breathing deep and steady. 9 more breath in. Breathe out, stack the hands in front, rest on one side. Head back to center, reach the arms back, inhale, lift the chest. Now lifting the legs here. Okay, straight down. Shoulders away from the ears. A bit more of a squeeze through the buttocks. 1 more breath in, lifting up. And stacking, turning the head opposite way. Head to center. Forehead resting on the floor as you reach the hands back. So if you wanted to take that bow pose option, then bring the heels in, bring the hands to the ankles or the feet or the toes. Otherwise, just come back to that same one we just did, where you're just lifting the legs and the chest off the floor, reaching the hands back, but not holding anything. So breathing in, lifting up. The shoulder blades squeeze together here, and the thighs squeeze toward each other. The gaze shifts slightly forward. And awareness in the center of the chest. 1 more inhale. And exhale, release to the floor. You've been bow, keep hold of the feet and draw your heels to the outsides of the hips toward the floor. Everything. Press yourself up to seated. Okay, so getting into our yin side of the Bin Yin class. If you've got a bolster or a block, you might need that. So the first one we're getting into, I know as fire log, but I know that there are a few other names for this. I think another one is called square. But we're squaring the legs, but we're making a triangle shape with the insides of the legs. We just want to stack the right foot first on top of the left knee. Left knee presses toward the floor. Then see if you can line your shins up, one on top of the other. And then you'll see that there's quite a gap between your
left foot and your right knee, which you can prop up with a cushion or a bolster, or you might just prop the thigh a little bit closer towards your torso. So resting the hands on the legs, on that right leg, getting tall through the spine. And this might be where you stay for the next few minutes, or you might start to lean forward, bring the fingertips to the floor. You're taking that lean forward option, just make sure that your head participates in that. So there's a little dropping of the chin and the crown of the head extends on an angle, the same trajectory as the spine. Shoulders drawing back. So quite a deep stretch through the outside of the right hip and the right buttock. Holding your attention in that place as you breathe. You find more and more ease in the breathing process. See if you can find more and more ease in this position, whether that's surrendering your mental resistance or surrendering the holding or the tension through the hip, or surrendering any attachment to outcome or aesthetic. Bringing your attention to just what is. One more minute, feel free to walk the hands further forward if you've got some space opening up, or if it's the opposite and you're feeling like it's getting a bit too intense, then feel free to ease out. Last few breaths. To walk your hands in, bringing yourself upright. I'm just going to transition nice and smoothly into a twist here. So lifting your right knee up a little bit and bringing the right foot to the floor outside your left knee. And just bringing that left heel into the outside of your right hip and re-ground back down through the right sit bone. Adjust as you need to set yourself up, and bring the right hand to the floor behind. Breathe in, extending up through left fingers and then coming into your twist, turning your torso to the right, turning your head towards your right shoulder behind you. Most importantly, lifting and lengthening away from the floor. Last couple of breaths. And then turning the head forward, untwist, leaning back into the hands, uncross the legs, bring the soles of the feet to the floor, then we'll just drop knees side to side. Okay, onto the other side. So now the right shin comes underneath, left foot comes to the top of that knee. Maybe noticing a difference between the two sides. If there is a side that feels too intense or too uncomfortable, then you can always bring the left foot further forward to a block or a support that's slightly lower than your knee, and draw it a little bit closer so you're closer to a cross-legged position, or you can just cross your legs and lean forward. Otherwise, left foot on top of right knee, lining the shins up, or stacking the shins on top of each other. Resting the hands, getting nice and tall through the spine. Relaxing any muscles that don't need to be holding here. And just in your own time, moving at your own pace, you can choose to move deeper into the stretch by bringing the hands to the floor. Stay attuned to the sensations and the experience through the hips, maybe even through the lower back. As you feel space starting to open up, then you can move a little deeper. Just taking 10 more breaths. Walking hands in nice and slow, especially if you've gone deep. If you're using a prop, just move it to the side, start to lift your left knee up as you bring your left foot to the floor and right heel a little closer into that left buttock. Plant left side down. Bring the left hand to the floor, breathe in, extend up, and twist as you breathe out. Forward, inhale, twist. Feet to the floor as you lean back, dropping knees side to side, nice and slow. Down onto your back for Shavasana. Hug the knees in for a few breaths. Rock from side to side if you like. And as comfortable as you can. Whatever that looks like for you. It might not be lying on your back in Shavasana, it could be sideline. With hands resting on the torso, legs crossed. You might choose to stay seated. Support your back with a wall. Things that you know work well for you and your nervous system and your mind to relax. Feel free to do those now. Sighing up through the mouth or rocking or humming. The body scan. Bring your attention back to your breathing. Feel the movement of breath. Feel the physical body. Points of contact. Notice points of heaviness, lightness, and temperatures throughout the body. So to find some movement again, roll to one side when you're ready. So just going to finish up with 5 or so minutes of Nadi Shodhana. Just keeping with that sense of balance. Yin and yang. You might like to place a cushion under your bottom or lean your back against the wall. Once you're seated, just closing the eyes or setting your gaze down, bringing your attention again to your breathing. Bring the first 2 fingers of your right hand to the eyebrow center. Using the thumb to block off the right nostril, breathe in through the left. Full breath in and breathing out through the right. Full breath out. Inhaling right. Exhaling left. Breathe. Breathe. Continue alternating, trying to have the each breath really full. So inflating all the way on the inhale, emptying the lungs all the way on the exhale. If you find your right arm starts to get tired, you can use your left hand to prop it up, but I do find that hugging the elbow and nice and close to the body helps a little bit with that as well. So as you move through each round, see if you can find some balance in the length of your inhales and the length of your exhales. Taking one more round of in, left, out, right, in, right, out, left. Finishing with the exhalation through the left side. Relaxing your arms, your hands down, breathing through both nostrils. Aware of the flow of the breath maybe a dominance of breath through one nostril. Feel free to round up your practice any way that you'd like. Feel free to stay in this meditative state for a little longer. Namaste, Namahi. Thank you for joining me.